Morning, Mike DeStefano, coming to you from the Recruit Strength Training Facility in Melbourne, Florida, on a rare occasion where I actually have to wear a sweatshirt because it's like 40-something degrees outside. Today I want to talk to you guys about our squat and engaging of our entire body and not just our legs and core. So when we talk about squat, a lot of times we're talking about bracing. Okay? Bracing is trying to push our diaphragm basically down into our abdominal cavity to increase the intra-abdominal pressure in order to keep our core nice and tight. The other thing that you're bracing when you do that is also your lower back and your obliques. Now, when we're bracing that, that's great. However, there's still another whole portion of our torso that's not being tightened up, and that's our upper back. So when we start setting ourselves up for our squat, I see one of two things when it comes to the low bar squat. Either I see athletes that are trying to push their elbows back, which obviously if your elbows go back, it's going to take your entire chest and push it forward. It's going to roll you forward. So when you get into that squat position, elbows go back and it pushes your chest forward, which also makes your hips come up and it's going to give you that stripper squat. The other thing I see a lot of times too is we're creating a shelf for the bar, on a low bar squat, by kind of wedging everything together and making it really, really, really tight. We see this a lot in female lifters because they don't have, well, they're trying to compensate for not having the bigger rear delts to be able to hold the bar up. So when they come up, instead of having a nice stable surface, they're taking their hands and they're wedging them together. And what that's doing is it's taking their back, it's pushing it all together and squeezing it tight, and that creates that platform for the bar to go on, which is great. You create your platform, you're able to hold the bar on there. The only problem with that is you're not able to engage anything at that point. It's all squished together rather than actually flexing the muscles. So one of the things that I like to go over with all my athletes is sounds completely counterproductive. But when we're squatting, we want to take that bar and instead of trying to push it up like as if we were trying to lift the bar up, we want to do the opposite. We want to pull that bar down onto our shoulders. What that's going to do is it's going to allow us to engage our lats, it's going to allow us to engage our rhomboids, subscapula, everything like that, and tighten everything up in our upper back. So one of the things I use as my cue, or as my teaching tool, is my PVC pipe, which gets used for basically every lift in the gym. But what we're looking for here is when we have it on our back, we have it in that low bar position, I want that athlete to be able to see you're taking that bar and you're pulling it down onto your back. We want to actually see that motion of the bar pulling onto the back. And what that is those lats basically doing a pull down to try to bend that bar over your back, keep it in place. And you'll use this for high bar and low bar squat. What that does is that allows us now, when we brace, our entire back is tight all the way from top to bottom, rather than just the center of the core of it. We want everything to be braced. What will happen is if we start focusing too much on our bracing of just our core and not our back, we'll either push down with our stomach and allow our back to be loose, which is going to cause issues of us getting out of the hole and having chest collapse. Or the opposite, which I see a lot as well, is the arching, or arching rather, where when you get into the hole, they're focusing on their back being nice and tight, but they forget about their stomach, the front portion of it. You got to realize when we're bracing our core, it's a 360-degree brace that we're using here. Everything needs to be tight in order for us to keep that nice stable frame. The other thing too is when we go into the hole and it gets nice and difficult in the hole, as we're coming out, as that come out of the hole, we want to pull down that bar even more. That's one of our cues that we're looking for. Nice and tight, pull down as we're going up. To the back side, nice and tight, pull as we're going up. So again, what happens with that if we're not bracing properly, if we're bracing our stomach but not our back, we're going to get down and we're going to have chest collapse. We don't want that. If we're bracing our back but not our stomach, we're going to come down and we're going to have that arch where we end up arching it up and it almost looks like a snake trying to come out there. Either way, we're reducing the amount of power that we have and we're putting the weight onto the load on the muscles that we don't want it to be on. Remember, so when you're setting yourself up, get into position, you're going to take that breath, you're going to brace down before you begin your squat. Brace, pull down on your shoulders, squat. Thanks for listening.